I'm going to explain this. I hope you guys have already watched the videos. Now I'm going to explain it step by step. So, you can, if you have any question, you can ask me and just follow the process. First of all, I'm going to tell you how you can log in into the platform. This is the platform you're going to use. We will share the links with you. You're going to click here and log in. Now this is the place where you are going to put login details. Here you are going to paste the ID we're going to give you. It's Baidu ID. Then you have this password. This password will also be provided to you. Here you will be pasting the password and just click login. Now this verification scan code will appear on your screen. You can see this picture is inverted. You need to slide it usually into the middle to give it the correct position. Okay, now this picture is almost in correct position. Okay. I think this isn't asked me. Actually, I have logged in before, so it didn't ask me about the mail. You guys will be new, so you will be asked about the email password as well. So I might show you that process as well for the newcomers. Those who have already given the trials, it won't be that difficult for them. Again, this time we have a new picture. Just slide it into the middle. And it's almost in the correct position. Okay, so this window will show on your screen. You need to click on this drop-down button and you have to click on the second option, this mailbox, and send the verification code. We'll give you another link for this email, and the email password will also be provided. You just need to paste it here. And paste the password as well. You can see this inbox. It has like 9 mails right now. The first one will be your verification code. This is your verification code. Just copy it and paste it here. Determine. Wait for a while. Let me try again. What's wrong with this?
I think we didn't select the email.
I did.
It shows the phone number.
I've clicked it 2 times already.
It doesn't work when it's translated.
Yes, yes. You have to translate it in Chinese, or you can refresh it. Okay,
Maybe I
Chinese.
need to refresh and use in Chinese.
Hmm.
So we have to repeat the process again. Here you go. Okay, so now we have logged in. This is your platform. You can now translate it in English. Here you go. First of all, there's this home, then task, guild, gift. If you need to start a new task, you need to click this option, task. You have different data sets, as I already told you. We will tell you which data set you are going to work on. But for now, I will tell you how you can perform this task. Um, Stop sharing screen. Okay, guys, this is a small audio clip which I have already completed for you. So, I can discuss in detail with you, because sometimes when the audio clip is new, I just describe you randomly and then you guys just don't get it all right. These are the details I have already shared with you guys. It's in every group. Just keep consulting every time you are starting a new task or working on it. Even during the work, if you don't understand something, please consult it, because I think mainly questions are answered there. And if you still have some misunderstanding or you have some query, you can just ask in the group. Okay, so here's this audio clip. First of all, I will explain what are these options and when and how to use before starting the clip. This is the audio clip with different wavelength and showing different frequency, and then you can see straight line. The straight line is usually there when there is silence and like no one is talking. Uh, the high wavelength shows like someone is speaking loudly. When there is very like low sound or small sound, it is not that much, you know, uh, changing or like moving. Uh, this is the play button, as you can see. This is the this will show the time duration. This multiple into 0.8. This actually shows the speed of the audio clip. The people, whoever is talking, either it's CSR or it's the customer, you can decide on which speed you want to hear this audio clip. You can increase it up to 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.5, and also slow it down to 0.7. 0.7 is the lowest speed of sound you can hear it. Then you have this. Then you have these three tags: content to overlap, content to sys, content to sil. These three tags are very important, and you are going to use it while transcribing it and just working on this task. If you see the guidelines, I have clearly distinguished between these three tags and in which condition and where to use these tags. First of all, it's content converted to sys system. It's usually used in this tag because it's only used when you hear the computer sound. It's not often you use the computer sound in the audio clip. Like it's saying something, like they say some number, or in the start, like if I play this, you can hear. You
We
can.
can't hear you. Can you share your computer sound?
Okay.
Seven, 6, 5, 9. At your service.
You can easily identify that this is computer sound. This is not a person or human being speaking. So you are just going to mark this segment sys. And you cannot just type sys, right? You need to use this tag, content to sys. Okay. Then the second condition is when to use sil, content converted to sil. As you can see, this is the tag right here at the end of these three options. Sil will be used in the following conditions. You can consult the guidelines every time you face some issue, but I'm going to repeat it for you. When you hear people talking in the background, like there are many people talking in the background and you don't really understand what they are saying, so you're just going to mark that segment sil. Secondly, if you are unable to understand the segment, like if it's in some other language, or maybe the voice is so distorted, or like it's so like low, or if there's some issue with the audio clip, you can easily mark it sil. And if it's in some other language, usually Chinese, because these are Chinese people speaking in English, sometimes they just have a conversation among each and with conversation with each other in Chinese. So you can just mark it sil. If two people are talking together at the same time and you don't understand what they are saying, like their voice overlaps, sometimes clients and systems voice overlaps. So if you face some issue and you don't understand what they are saying, you are going to mark that segment sil. Then third and the most important segment, which is content to overlap, which you are going to use most often, and usually people do mistakes while using it. It's like the only condition for this tag is if there is silence or some music playing. Music I'm not sure about, but usually there is silence, and you have to mark it overlap. For this tag, content to overlap, there are some conditions, right? First of all, you need to make sure that there is silence. You just cannot assume that the line is straight, so you just mark it overlap. This is not how it works. Okay, I will show you when I will start this audio clip. Then you have this plus option, then this minus option. This plus is for zoom in. Every time you are going to click on this option, this audio clip will expand, as you can see. Every time you're going to click on this minus option is going to zoom out, and it will be smaller segments, but you can see this whole audio clip in one picture. This is used to delete the segment, but you also have this option right besides this segment, right? You have this delete option with every segment. Every time you make some mistake or you make some unnecessary segment, you want to delete it, you can use this option. Then you have this split paragraphs option right here. Okay, guys, like every time you think, this was computer speaking, right? You played it.
7, 6, 5, 9. At your service.
Okay. Now right here, you can see that computer stopped talking, right? You cannot hear computers saying anything anymore. This is the place you want to make a segment. You want to separate it in the audio segment and transcribe it, or give it a tag or anything like that. You'll just you will bring this pointer right here, and you are going to click on this split paragraphs option. Okay, this will create a segment for you. It will, cut it in two halves. This will be the first one, which you are going to transcribe, and it will, divide it into two halves. Like rest of the audio clip will be divided. So now when you click on this first segment, you can see this has been marked as sys. Okay, you are not going to type it. You are going to click here and mark it content to sys. Okay, so this is the first segment. Now what you have to be careful about here is that you need to check the time duration between two segments. Right here between these two segments, it's 0.3, right? So you can just cut it in half and make it a reservation of 0.15 on both sides. Okay, so the condition for these reservation, this is the space, right? This is the space which where you make segment on both sides of the segment. This is the reservation here of 0.15. One thing you need to be careful about, and which has also been mentioned in the guidelines, is that it cannot be more than 0.3, right? It has to be less than 0.3 on both sides of the segment, right? If this is the segment, it has to be less than 0.3 on both sides of the segment. Now this is another segment, right? And you can just play. Like if you want to, start the audio clip from the very start, you can just click here and it will automatically go to the very start and you can just play it.
Hi, it's Bella speaking. How may I address you?
Okay, I hope you can, hear it multiple times just to make sure that you just heard right. Don't make any mistakes while transcribing. This is the introduction of the platform, but you cannot just take for granted the transcription. It's the main part. This is what you are going to be paid for. You play it again.
Hi,
Okay.
it's
Hong
Bella
Kong
speaking. How may I
Airlines.
address you?
It's Bella speaking. How may I assist you? Right? You heard it. You typed it here. Things to be careful about while you are transcribing. First of all, every time you hear like a proper noun or name or something, you need to capitalize the first word, like H, K. You need to put proper spaces between the words. Bella, it's capitalized. B is capitalized. Proper use of punctuation. You have full stop here. You have question mark here, right? Okay. After making the segment, you need to assign the role, right? You heard someone speaking. It's a human speaking. Now it's either CSR, the agent, or it might be the customer or the client. Now we have this drop-down option and it shows K, Y, and KY. The first one is K. K is representing the CSR or the agent, okay? And Y represents the client or the customer. We are going to assign it K as it's the CSR speaking, okay? And if you hear the customer speaking, you are going to assign it Y. You are not going to use this KY option. It is like irrelevant. After this segment, you just split it here again using this option. And these are the arrows. This will help you to go forward and go backwards, right? While you are working, you are going to need these options like a lot. Okay, so this is the option I was talking about initially that many people, don't understand it. Here. Now, if I play it, you don't hear any sound, right? So first of all, you need to make sure what is the time duration of this clip where you cannot hear any sound. This is 2.37, okay? You again going to mark this whole segment using split paragraph, right? And when you're going to click it, this segment will be highlighted. For every segment, you are going to transcribe the segment which has been highlighted. If you will be clicking here, right? So this is the part you need to transcribe in this box. This one is the 6th segment. Okay, these at the bottom of the page, you can see the first page, the second page. You can move forward here. If you want to go backwards, you can make as many pages as you want. But just be careful, don't transcribe it wrong. Like, if you have made one segment but you are transcribing the content in another segment, your work will be marked all wrong and you will not be paid. Okay, so now here is complete silence, right? You just play like 2 or 3 times just to make sure that you're not making any mistake. Okay, so for every overlap segment, you just need to be careful that it cannot be less than 0.6, right? It cannot be less than 0.6. I'm repeating myself, it cannot be less than 0.6. 0.6 is exactly this time duration as I have highlighted in the segment, right? This is 0.6. You see, every time there is, for example, if one person is speaking, right? The same person goes on speaking and saying stuff. But if you hear a silence of minimum 0.6, you are going to make an overlap segment right there. But if it is, if two people are talking and you have exactly 0.6 distance between those two segments, right? So you are going to split it in half. For example, just to show you, I'm going to make this segment. This is a segment of 0.6. What you're going to do right here is, this is 0.6, right? You're going to split it in half here. Just assume that it's between two valid segments. Now this is 0.3 and this is also 0.3. Oh, wait. Right? If you want to delete it, just use this option. It can be more than 0.6, but an overlap segment cannot be less than 0.6. Okay, so it's not like every time. Yes, one more thing. Like I said, that it cannot be less than 0.6. What people are usually doing is that they make like 2-3 segments of overlap, and each of them is of 0.6 and mark it overlap, which is completely wrong. For every segment that you tag says overlap or CIL, you are not going to assign any role. Okay, now you again. Again, this was a question and it was made by the customer. You just transcribed it, Hong Kong Airlines, and you just put the question mark at the end of this transcription segment. All right. Now, again, we are going to check how much is the distance. It's like 0.82. So we can have a valid silence overlap segment of 0.6, and at the same time we can leave the reservation space on both sides of the overlap segment. Right here, like if this is the segment and we need to leave a reservation, like it can be as low as 0.5, 0.3, 0.7, and it can go up to 0.25, 0.27, but it should be less than 0.3. That's the only rule. Now we have this overlap segment here, and also we have valid reservation here before and after the segment. Here it is 0.10. You can also zoom in to just make sure that you are not cutting out any sound. As you can see, it's exactly 0.10, right? Again, you can play to make sure. Okay, it's an overlap segment. You have assigned the tag overlap here. And again, zoom out and just play.
Sorry, because I didn't hear the answer.
Okay, you can move forward and play it again.
I will hang off. Please call back later.
Okay. This is the whole segment. One thing, when you hear a long, audio clip or long segment, one person is speaking, one thing you need to check is that the valid segment which are going to transcribe cannot be more than 15 seconds. This is of like 5.5 seconds. So it's fine. If it's more than 15 seconds, you need to make a new segment. You cannot go on with the previous one. Right? Play it again. Just to make sure.
Because I didn't hear the answer. I will hang off. Please call back later.
Okay, while transcribing, you can see I have put this steric here. Why? Steric is going to be used every time you don't understand a word or two words because of, any given reasons. Try to minimize the use of sterics, but every time you don't understand a word, you can simply put steric there. What people usually do is that if they don't understand a word or they are not sure what they said, what they do is they put steric and then they, just type the word and put steric again, which is completely wrong. You cannot do like this, right? If you don't understand a word, you are going to use steric in place of that word, right? You cannot use the word and steric both in the same segment. It's completely wrong. Another thing about the steric is you need to leave space before and after the steric, right? I have space before and after the steric, right? It can also be like at the end of the sentence. For example, if I don't understand later, I don't know what she said, I can just put steric here and then a full stop. But if it's in between the sentence, then you need to put space even after the steric. Okay, and again, sign the roles. Just make sure that you don't assign wrong roles, because it will also make, even if the transcription is right and the role you didn't assign like correct role, then it will be marked wrong by the QC. You can move forward to the end of the, okay, this will be show unable to advance, move to the end of the, like that means like this is the end of the audio, right? Again, play it.
Hong Kong Airlines. Sorry. Call sign do
This is the last segment. Now, for example, if it wasn't there, right? I'll make it for you. What I will be doing is that, first of all, I will make sure that I have enough space for the reservation. For that, first of all, I have to check how much actual space I have. It's 0.87. That means I can make an overlap segment right here of 0.6, and rest of the space can be assigned to the reservation, right? So here I am going to split this paragraph. Let's move this cursor here, this mark, and split it. Now this segment is more than 0.6, right? And it's a valid overlap segment. And also we have this valid reservation here, enough reservation for this whole segment. It's 0.15. Now you can mark it overlap, right? And no need to assign the roles. So that's about it. Once you are done, you think you have completed your task, you can just go back to the start, zoom out, and play it for yourself. Now what it will be doing is that while you will be
7,
playing, it
6,
will be
5,
highlighting the segments accordingly. For every segment, you can also see which tag it is going to highlight. So you just make sure that you just transcribe it fine. Okay.
7, 6, 5, 9. At your service.
Hong Kong Airlines is Bella speaking. How may I address you? Hong Kong Airlines. Sorry. Call sign do not hear the answer. I will hang off. Please call back later.
Now this is the lowest speed of like this sound or this audio clip. You can increase it like this. Okay, to 1. 1 is like normal. Okay.
7, 6, 5, 9. At your service.
Hong Kong Airlines is Bella speaking. How may I address you? Hong Kong Airlines. Sorry. Call sign do not hear the answer. I will hang off. Please call back later.
Okay, one more thing. Usually when you delete a segment, what it does is that the content is usually shifted to the upper cell. Like I deleted the previous segment and that overlap tag went right up here. So after making sure that you did it just fine, you can simply, you will have an option of submit here. You will, it's save here because it's already done and it's like for you guys to understand, but you will have a submit option here. You can, once you are done, you are going to submit it. Okay. So that's about the platform and how you are going to transcribe it. I hope you don't have any difficulty now, or I hope when you start working on it, you don't face any difficulty. These are the guidelines I would like you guys to read, because no matter how many times I explain it to you, if you read it yourself, you will understand it better. Then we have these model sounds, right? Like different sounds. Usually when people are having a conversation, they, let out different sounds. You need to make sure that you are typing or transcribing the correct model sounds, because this is important. Even if you hear a small sound, you are going to mark it and then, transcribe it. If it's valid, you will be paid for it. So it's important. Secondly, if you come across any numbers like numerical numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, you cannot type just 1, 2, 3, 4. You are going to, you will be typing correct spelling for them. And Arabic numbers are not allowed. Overlap and these segments I have already discussed with you guys. Okay, so here we have, like, at the end of conversation, they just say, okay, bye bye. And they usually say, okay, yeah, okay, and different sounds. Like, what you need to be careful about is that you are going to put spaces. If they say bye bye, you cannot just like type bye bye. You need to put spaces and, separate these words. Use correct spellings for the okay, yeah. And for example, if they say like different words like RMB is like the currency of China. So the customer or the agent is saying RMB. You are going to capitalize each word and use spaces between these letters. If it's saying Hong Kong, you need to again put the space here and use capital words for H and K. Also, if you hear a long model sound, can you please mute your mics? Thank you. If you hear a long sound, like it says, but you cannot use like 5, 6 M right after the sound. Like if you cannot spell it as long as you hear, you are just going to use the correct and appropriate spellings for that, like EM. It's enough. Right here. If you hear it like this, you cannot type it. This is wrong. You're going to type it like EM. And then if it's cannot, you're going to put space here again. I have discussed these things. Okay, sometimes like you hear a conversation and you are like, this makes no sense, or it says it depends at for refund. Like at for, what is at for? So, use your common sense and, make your best judgment, and you know what it says, like it depends on us for refund, right? So if like, you don't really understand the segment, but you know what it meant, so you can type it. These are different examples where you will be, you might have a difficulty to understand what they are saying, but you can use your best judgment to decide what they said and transcribe it accordingly. I have discussed with you where to use TEDx. Like this is the last guideline. Usually when the customer or the agent, when they are explaining their names or email addresses to each other, they use these. Can you please mute your mics? Please mute your mics. Thank you. So if if a customer or the agent is telling the name or the email address, they are going to separate the letters, and for just for the purpose of explaining it to the other person, they are going to say it like A for Alpha, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, right? So these are usually the words they use, like Alpha and Lima, Mike. So this will be helping you while you will be transcribing those words. Like it says I for India and for November. So even if you don't understand what they say, you can just consult from the guidelines and decide what they said. So these are the guidelines. And if you still have some questions, just feel free to ask in the groups, or, we are here to answer and solve your problems. This was all about the platform and the guidelines. And if you still have problems, we have videos on YouTube. You can consult there. And I hope you guys will be doing great in the trials. That's all. Yes,
Those workers who are ready for the trials, they can message their name in the group. So we will assign them the IDs. And wait, let me take the screenshot of the workers who attended this meeting.
also, if you have any question, you can ask.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you repeat the process of the overlappings? I can't understand the 0.6 and 0.3, this type of the segment. And another question is that the segment is already be precised, already given or not. Yeah, already we have to make the segments.
You will be making the segments. This is the answer to your second question. And for the first question, as you can see, this is the audio clip. This is the reservation. Reservation is the space you leave before and after the segment you transcribe. Right? If you are transcribing this segment, the second one, you are going to leave some space before and after the segment, as you can see here and here. The reservation you are going to leave should be less than 0.3, okay, for every segment. For overlap, the 0.6 rule is for the overlap. This is the overlap. Long silence, right? You can check this segment. Even after leaving the reservation, you have a lot of space here, and it's all like silence. So it cannot be like less than 0.6. You cannot mark a segment overlap if it's less than 0.6. There are too many people speaking. I don't understand. Do you understand? Mute your mic, please.
Ma'am, there is a segment of 2.35 that is a total a blank segment. So we can put this segment into two or three parts, or that is a 2.35 just segment is a total, because you already say that each and every segment more than time is a 15 second. So but there's a blank
seconds.
segment time is a 2.35, ma'am.
Okay, let me speak. 2.35 is for overlap segment. Overlap is an invalid segment, right? Valid segment is where you listen to some human being or client or customer representative speaking. So if someone is speaking, that one is the valid segment. That one you are going to transcribe. For the valid segment, we have this condition of 15 seconds. For invalid segment, there is no time limit. It can be as long as like even I think like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And this two is actually representing the seconds. If this overlap segment is of 2 seconds and 35 is the, just like points up to 100. So if it shows 15 here, like 15 point something, then it is of 15 seconds. Do you understand? And yeah, segments I have already explained. Are we the one who will put operating segments in the audio? Yes, I've already answered it.
Eamon, or you can just make one segment at the end. Just delete the segment. Yeah.
I have already did that.
Okay.
But just to make sure, okay, let me do it. What you are going to get will be a complete new audio clip. Let me just.
Or you can get another audio clip.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This will be your platform, right? Okay, when you will enter your platform, like you log in with your ID, this is what your screen will look like, right? This is the start making this red option. You will be clicking at this option to start your new task. And this is how your platform will be working. I can see a lot of questions. Okay, our audio clip has been uploaded. This is how your new audio clip will look like whenever you are going to log in and start a new task. This will be your audio clip that you are going to transcribe. Okay, you can zoom in and zoom out, right? And make a new segment by yourself after playing it and making sure that you
952 at your service.
okay, this one stops speaking right here, right? So we have this space for the reservation. Just make sure it's not more than 0.6, otherwise it will be an overlap segment. It's 0.42, so we are just going to split it in half. Now we have a reservation space of 0.17 on this side and 0.1, maybe slightly more than that. It's okay. It should be less than 0.3, but it can be of any number. 0.2, okay, 0.2. Now we have same reservation on both sides. This is our segment we are going to transcribe. But as we can hear the computer speaking right here, so we can just mark it content to sys. Use this tag. Again, you are going to play.
Hello, China Airlines, Monica speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, my
Okay.
wife is
So now you can see I just made one segment. And the rest of this whole audio clip will be transcribed accordingly. You will be listening and then making segments, and these will be numbered like this, like first segment, this one, and then you have to make the second segment. So that's how you're going to make the segments. I can see a lot of questions about trials. Actually, we want to take as many trials as we can today, right? So if any one of you think, you can attempt trial today, you're more than welcome. We will be taking the names and, we will inform you as soon as we can. Maybe we will take trials right now. Just share your names in the chat and you can start your trial. Any other question?
Okay, those who are ready to attempt the trial, they can message in the group their names and their manager. They will tell us that which workers are willing to give the trial. So we will assign them IDs accordingly. Managers Bianca and Krishna, you guys can note down their names and you can send those names to us. So we will assign the IDs to you.
Okay, okay,
All right.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, I'm ending the meeting now. Please do share your name with your manager. All
Thanks
right.
for your time, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. Good luck for the trials.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye. No problem.